Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. I am Sabira aka Saabythesimmer. I hope you're doing well today. So I am back with another speed build. I have a reference image to show you guys and I will leave it on the screen for you to see. I decided to go with a base game build. I kind of forgot what I did, to be fair, because I did this a few weeks ago and I just haven't been able to get the voiceover done. So finally got the voiceover done, and then I'm going to show you how I put this build together. So it is a base game home, but I built this house, I think this is, yeah, it's Newcrest. To be fair, I feel like whenever I build a base game home, it's always in Newcrest or Wood Creek. I don't tend to build base game homes in any other world, because I feel like, I don't know, I feel like it's just a bit of a, I don't know, I think it's just a bit strange to build a base game house in a world that's not base game, because then it's not going to look the same, you know? So this is a 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom house. I believe I've managed to get 1 bathroom upstairs and 2 bathrooms downstairs, one being an ensuite, I believe I did. And then we've got 3 bedrooms, so 1 bedroom downstairs and 2 bedrooms upstairs. I'm pretty sure that's how I worked out the floor plan. Done the whole kind of roof situation where I've had to like hide rooms into a roof. I believe that's what I tried to do. Well, I didn't really hide them in the rooms now that I'm thinking about it. I haven't really hidden them. I haven't hidden the rooms within a roof, so you can still see some of the rooms poke out of the roofs, and then you got some windows there as well. I guess I just, yeah, followed basically. I can't remember if the reference image that I used came with a floor plan. I don't believe it did. I think it just came with the picture of the house that I used as like reference. So I don't believe I had a floor plan to work with, so I just worked with like my imagination. Which is normally what I do when I see a house. I normally just work with the shape of the build based on the reference image, and then I kind of create my floor plan based on that. So it looks like, I feel like it looks like a stereotypical base game home with like the blue siding and like the stone kind of outside. But if you see the reference image that I've left on the screen a bit earlier, you will see that it kind of just like, I just replicated the same kind of colours and tones for the build. And then I've gone with like black and white windows, I've gone with some window boxes, and used the odd few like debug items just to add some extra detail. So I've used some of the like the posts that come with the fences in the debug menu. I've used those as like details for the columns that I've used. I believe I used the like rounded columns. I can't remember if I used a different type of column, but I believe I used the rounded columns for those. And I then just put those kind of like end pieces that come with the fences in the debug menu as like detail to make it kind of look like those craftsman style columns, like the ones we got with Get Famous, and also the ones we got recently with the Growing Together expansion pack. So I feel like just doing a base game build. Sometimes I like doing a base game build because I like the challenge and I like to see if I can try and create something slightly different. I feel like with base game homes it's quite easy for it to look quite similar just because we're limited with items, especially with like interiors. But just generally, I feel like we're limited with the styles that we can do with base game. I mean, maybe it's just me, but I'm slightly limited with the items and the things I can do with just base game. So it's always nice when we get like base game things added and base game items added to the game, because it helps us kind of like just create a bit more when it comes to the base game. And I have got like all the recent kits that came out as well. So I've got the garden kit, the greenhouse kit, and I've also got the basement kit. So I should really have like loads of inspiration to like furnish a home and like build homes, and like I start so many builds and then I can't finish them. So I've started like maybe 3 builds and I haven't been able to finish them. So I don't know if you're going to end up with more shells in the meantime, or if I'm going to be filming some like gameplay videos, because I'm having a lot of fun with that. But at the moment, like this builder's block is just getting to me because I just feel like I can't finish a build, or like any build that I start I'm just not like interested enough to finish. So a lot of them are ending up shells. I did end up doing a like row of homes for like university students. So like at the moment I'm really into like trying to build 1-story houses. Like when I play, I just find them so practical, like so much more practical, so much more easy to maneuver around. Especially if you're playing with multiple sims, I feel like they can easily get lost when you're playing with like multiple levels. And also I think it's just a bit cheaper. It costs less for my sims to be able to afford a home if it's just 1 story. Which is obviously, you know, if you like to play with realism, it helps a lot if your sim can like generally afford the homes. You don't have to use cheats and stuff to get them to live in the homes that you want them to live in. So this house is pretty affordable, but it is a shell. So I feel like for your sims to move in, it's pretty affordable. But then for them to need to have more money to be able to furnish the house and like finish the home, then yeah, they're gonna need some more money. So the total of the shell came up to 54,655 simoleons. So not super expensive, not start home friendly. I feel like if you start with maybe 3 or 4 sims, it won't take you that long to kind of build up some money. Essentially, if like 2 adult sims in careers, then I feel like it won't take too long to build up the funds to be able to afford the rest of the home. But yeah, that's what I've gone with. Oh, I just realized I didn't use the like rounded columns. I actually went with columns. I don't normally use this for home users. I don't normally use these style of columns when I do like traditional looking homes. I feel like if I do modern or if I do homes that are a bit more blocky, I go with those ones because they look a bit more like minimal and like a bit. I don't even know if modern's a word, but they look a bit more contemporary. Whereas like the other columns in the base game look very traditional, very like detailed, very inspired by I guess that New Orleans style that they went with for. Oh, not Oasis Springs, Willow Creek. So I don't tend to use these columns that often for like my traditional looking homes, but I like the way it ended up looking. I end up kind of like filling in, as I always do, the surrounding space with the sidewalks slabs. So I started doing this ever since, like I've been doing this for a while, but ever since I watched like Devin Bumpkin build, I've always tried to blend in the kind of like existing world with the build, and I feel like it makes it so much easier to do it this way, where if you just use the sidewalk tiles and just blend in the kind of exterior with the street, it just feels like it blends in so much more. And also it means that you can kind of create your own area around it. I don't think that really makes that much sense, but I feel like if I can start my path like a few tiles behind and then I have that strip of these sidewalk tiles first, I feel like it blends in easier and I can like create the front of the house and make it look like it's part of the same, like it's part of the street as opposed to like a house in the middle of nowhere. So that's my theory behind it. But yeah, I've started doing that since watching Devin Bumpkin build, and like I take a lot of inspiration from other builders and like the things that they do, the tips that they have. So I used to do it a lot more, but now that I use keyboard and mouse, I don't do it as much. But I used to do the thing where you put the lamp in the center of a space that you're trying to like use. So if I'm trying to decorate a table and put like clutter on the table, but I want it to be in the center, but the snapping points are all off, I would just like put a lamp in the center of where I want the table to be and where I want the clutter to be, and then I would move the table away and then just use the lamp as like guide as to where to put the clutter. I used to do that a little bit more often, but now that I use keyboard and mouse and I have a bit more freedom with like the alt key, I don't use that trick in as much as I used to, and I feel like I don't clutter up that much anymore. Well, not that I don't clutter up, but the areas that I clutter up, I feel like I can just do without having to use that trick. But yeah, I end up putting a car from debug menu. I do some minimal landscaping at the front of the build, and I believe I don't think I did any landscaping for the back garden. I think I left a tree in the back, but I think that was pretty much it. I ran very minimal with the landscaping for this build, so just some hydrangeas, I think these plants are called, and then some like little white flowers. And yeah, I think I just did a little path. I can't remember if I put even a bird bath, is that what it's called? I think I put one at the front, but I could be so wrong. No, I did. I'm looking at the photo now and I can see I did do it. So in the end I did put a little bird bath out there. I think those are like so cute, and they just like add a little extra detail when you need some more detail for your builds. And then kind of create a bit of a side entrance for the garden. I always like adding in a side entrance to my gardens. I feel like they're like practical and like realistic, but it depends on how you play your game. I think it's only like helpful and realistic if you play your game in a way where often I'm having like a party in the garden. I only want the Sims to enter through the gate, so you might lock the front door or something, I don't know. But yeah, if you want to reuse them, I would suggest it. And I just carry on with the rest of the landscaping for the rest of the front of the build, and add some stones, some rocks, and place them in all kind of like sporadically. I just wanted it to kind of blend it a bit more. I think I do create a bit of a pathway. I can't remember. I think I do create a bit of a pathway, so it's like almost you can walk along where the plants are, where the flowers are. I don't know why you would, but it's there if you wanted to. And trying to kind of figure out what I want to do in the back garden. I feel like when it comes to base game builds, my gardens probably look the same, and like the houses generally look kind of similar. So I want to like switch things up, but I just need the inspiration as to like how do I switch things up. And trying to do base game builds with like the limited items you have, but trying to do like interesting looking builds, sometimes it's a bit tricky. I can't lie, sometimes it's a bit tricky. But yeah, this isn't a very long video just because it is a shell, and it's quite a small home. Like, it's not got loads and loads in it, to be fair. So I just decorate the front. So I decorate like the front porch area where the Sims can like enter the house. I believe I put like a chair and two chairs and a table out there. Yep, I do. And then on the little porch on the back garden, I put like a chess table. And then in the garden itself has the monkey bars. I put a picnic table, I believe a barbecue, as well as like a bin. And I do use the holiday celebrations pack thingy, which is free. I think it came out ages ago, but I used that because I ended up using a candle, and I also used the fireplace frames that come with that pack as well, so I used that for there. And what else up on the garden? Oh, I used like debug flowers and put them in the flower pots, so you can remove them if you want to like do your own planting in those pots. But I decided that I just wanted it to kind of look a bit more decorative and like pretty, so that it looked like they've already planted flowers. I kind of wish that when you do plant flowers anyway in the game, that they really fill out the pot like the kind of debug ones look like. I don't know, I just wish it kind of filled out a bit more, because the ones from debug look really pretty in those little pots. So yeah, got some chairs up in the front as well. I always wonder what to do at the front porch, because do people really sit on the front porch and like watch the neighbors or whatever? Like, do they really sit out there? So I did it anyway, but I don't know if your Sims really want to sit out there and, I don't know, just watch the time go by. I put a little book out there as well. So when I do show builds, I furnish them as if you would like kind of enter a house like that's brand new, except for the details on the exterior. So I add garden furniture, I add garden bits and bobs basically. So I normally decorate the garden and the exterior as if someone's already living there, but then the inside looks like you've just moved in. So feel free, the garden can be changed anyhow you want. I normally just do it just so it looks a bit more interesting. And also a speed build where the garden wouldn't be done, just, I don't know, it would be pretty boring to watch me do nothing to the garden. So I normally just furnish the kitchen as you would if you was to move in. So you have your appliances and your sink. I don't know if I put a dishwasher in this build, but yeah, your cabinets, all that kind of stuff. And then the bathrooms, I try to do something slightly different. I try to use more platforms, and I rarely do like black appliances. Like, I can't remember the last time I did a black bathtub in my build. So I went with like the brown tile, and then I went with like black accents with the sink, the toilet, the shower, and the bath. And then I just went in and added little details to the platforms that I created, just to give the bathrooms something extra, to make them look a bit more different and interesting, because otherwise it's just a bathroom with nothing in it. Also, I do kind of clutter up bathrooms and make it look like it's lived in, just because I feel like you can obviously do it yourself and personalize it however you want, but sometimes I feel like I personally use my own shells as well. Like, if I don't want to build something from scratch and I just want a house I can decorate for my Sims, I use my own shells. And sometimes it's just easier if the bathroom's already like decorated or cluttered and things like that, because then you don't really have to think too much as to what to add. And I don't know, it depends on how you play, but my bathrooms are never really that personal. Like, they just look like they're like used, but they don't really look specific to a specific Sim. So it's up to you how you do your bathrooms. Like, you can, like any of my builds that you download, if you want to use any of my builds, you can change it however you want. You could scrap this build and use a different floor plan, or use the same floor plan and decorate it differently. Like, totally up to you how you do it. So yeah, this is the first bathroom. Normally with my shell builds, I only show you one bathroom. I don't know if I show you all of them, just because it is a shorter video. So this is the bathroom that is the downstairs main bathroom. I was trying to look at the floor plan and see what it is, but this is the main bathroom downstairs. It's a full bath, shower in there, and then we have the bathroom that is attached to the main bedroom downstairs, and then the third bathroom upstairs, which is shared by the two rooms. And then you've got your living space. You've got a small dining space. Did I make a space for dining? I think I did, but it's like within the kitchen space. There's a bit of like a nook, and I've just put a little fireplace frame there. I love doing a like cut off what do you call it, like balcony on the inside where like I put the stairs. Like, I love cutting it off and just doing a bit more of like a double entry. I think that's what they call it. I think it's called a double entry, something like that. I don't know enough about architecture. I just enjoy building the Sims, so it's not always realistic. But this is the ensuite. So I've done the same kind of appliances and details with the bath, the shower, the sink, everything like that. I normally keep it all similar. This is the first one I've done where I used all the slots that came with the new like base game updates. You have slots now in your bathtub, sinks, toilets, which is very handy if you want to like properly decorate your bathrooms. But like I said, my bathrooms all probably look the same, to be fair. I probably go with the same concept all the time. But yeah, once I've finished with this bathroom, which I believe is the ensuite for the like master bedroom, or like this the the main bedroom. Then I move upstairs to the bathroom upstairs, and then I go around and add curtains. Normally I add curtains to all my shell builds just because otherwise the rooms look pretty empty. I do have screenshots. Most of the rooms are going to be empty, but just so you can see the room. So you have your living space, you have the kitchen with a dining space in there as well. You have a nice big entryway as well. I will show you the floor plans, like bird's eye view as well, so you can see the floor plan if you ever want to copy it and do it that way. But yeah, normally how I build, if I only have the shape of a build, then I'll create the shape and then kind of create a floor plan around it. So in the upstairs bathroom, I do leave a... Why did my mind go blank? A potty. I don't know why my mind went blank there, but I did leave a potty in the bathroom upstairs. So I can imagine maybe I was gonna say a teen, a toddler, or an infant upstairs. I'm having a lot of fun playing with infants at the moment, so it's new, it's fun to play with infants, so that's what I've been doing. So yeah, that's what I've been having fun doing, playing with infants and like raising them as like toddlers. At the moment, my household that I'm playing with, we've just had our infant age up to a toddler, and then I've got the mum to get pregnant again, but she's in university as well, so we're going to be busy. We're going to be very busy. I've got the dad trying to become like a really good photographer. We got some big money. We did a job that was like 6,000 as a payout, and then we did it, but we did it early, and then we got 8,000 as a payout, and I was like, yeah, we're going to make money. We're going to make money good, because I actually want to expand the house that we're living in. The house isn't big enough for the family that's going to grow. I want them to have a big family. I just do. So yeah, she's going to be making her own money as well at some point when she finishes university. But yeah, once the bathrooms are done, I add curtains, I add a small detail. So the fireplace frames from the celebrations kit, holiday kit, I think it is, I put into some of the rooms as well, pretty much all the rooms, and some light switches. I go into the kitchen and realize that, yeah, it looks very bland, and normally even with shells, I do clutter up slightly with my shells for the kitchen. So even if it's just adding like kitchen roll and a flower or something, like a flower pot, like I normally add something, so I thought I would add a little something in there. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Pretty open-ish planned, so not loads of doors, few archways. I think there's also an office space. Now I'm thinking about it, I think there is a small office space at the front of the build, so if you want to turn that office space into a 4th bedroom, you certainly can. But I'm trying to look at the floor plan. I'm moving around quite quickly, so I'm not actually sure. Yes, I do add some more appliances as well, so microwave, coffee machine, dishwasher, just the things that I feel like help us sim out if you've moved straight in, and some extra details. But yeah, I'm gonna leave you guys to watch the screenshots. If you want to download this build, it's up on the gallery. My gallery ID is Saabythesimmer. I leave the details in the description for you, and I shall be back soon for another video on this channel. If you want to leave a like, I'd very much appreciate it. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time, guys. Take care. Bye.